Hey there, it's Fox. How are you doing this evening? I'm fine. Thanks for asking. Welcome to day 2 of the conception, birth, pick one, of L7, A Journal for Squares. Whoa! So, yesterday I told you the idea. It's going to be a journal of gridded paper with graphics like along the borders. I think I'll make them so that you can color them in. We'll have to play that by ear, see how that works out. So what I need to do is figure out the size and the format, how I want the pages to look. And the most important thing right now is I need lots of graph paper that will reproduce, that I'll be able to, what I'm going to do is do my drawings on graph paper and then scan them into the computer, tweak them in graphics programs, 1 or 2 graphic programs I have, so that they are the way I want them to look in the book. The book is going to be just mostly graphics, not a lot of writing. So what I need is a lot of drawings on graph paper. So that means I need a lot of graph paper that's going to reproduce. So you'll see the grids. They usually make graph paper the grids are a color that's called non-repro blue. Repro short for reproducible, non-reproducible blue. In other words, if you drew something on this graph paper and made a photocopy of it, the machine wouldn't register the blue, so it would just look like the drawing without any of the grid. So I need paper where the grid is going to show. I'm not sure now in computers if non-repro blue applies to scanners. So if I bought a pad of graph paper with non-repro blue grid on it, would that work? I don't know. Additionally, if I were to use store-bought graph paper in my book, is it copyrighted? Is that considered an image, a grid? Because there are a lot of different styles of grids. Is that something that can be copyrighted? So, with those 2 things in mind, I realized it would be wisest to make my own. Well, these days, that's easier said than done. In most cases, gosh, you might need something like a typewriter to do that. Yeah, we're gonna make your own graph paper on my trusty typewriter. My paper, black, no copyright except my copyright, if they even do that for graph paper. I don't get that. I mean, where do you draw the line on copyright, right? I mean, you make paper. Is that considered a tool, and can tools be copyright? I don't know. It just gets very thick, you know. So I'm gonna play it safe. And I'm gonna do my own graph paper. So I'm getting ready to do that. Here's I just bought, I always like to have a folder for my projects, keep everything relating to that project in the folder. I like to have them with the covers so you can put a note or somehow label right on the front what goodies are within. So I don't have a lot to show right now, but I'm gonna I plan to design my graph paper, make many photocopies of it, and keep the untainted paper, the virgin paper that has no drawings on it on this side, and then the actual drawings that will be ready for scanning in my page protectors here. And I also have one of these for any kind of overflow. This is maybe some practice graph paper that just for my drawings that I'm not going to use because this is somebody else's. But I've got it. This is a little test that I did in Paint the other day to see if this was, I scanned the paper into Paint and then I used the fill bucket to create the little checkerboard. I wanted to see if it would work, which it does. So that could also be a practice page. So there's not a lot there, as I said. So I guess I'm going to do some typing. Okay then. Oh my goodness, it's been a while since I've used this. Right, how do you turn this on? Very promising. Okay. Margins. I'm going to have to adjust my margins. And okay, paper feed, paper feed. Well, could be able to do this. But there's also a button. So I was going to do this way and then turn it this way. So as long as this fits all right, we are good to go. We're good. Yes. Okay. Now I need a release to, yeah. Get that centered. Very nice. This way. And we need to do the margin release. Sorry. Right, margin pressure, do. First, let me make sure this is black. Yep, it is. So now I need to correct that. Okay, now let's see. I want my. Is this all double spaced? I should probably get out the manual, but let's see how I manage without having to get the manual out. Cut. Okay, so here, this thing is in the way, but it completely disappears if you put this cover over it. So I'm going to experiment with line, how many returns I have to hit to get it the grid size I like. But you just hit, you've got shift lock on and margin releases. That way, back it up and okay. I have a little screen here that tells me very basically what is what's turned on. So this is with one shift. Oh, that's good. That's a much better grid than 2 returns, just 1 return. So now I need to do, it only goes to here, so I have to hit margin release. So I hit Alt margin release and then underline, which is, oh, that's different. Anyway, it doesn't matter. I just noticed something. I don't use this typewriter a heck of a lot. I like to use it for pen pals, but it's a little bit of a struggle, as any of my pen. Oh darn, she typed it again. So I type it out. It's usually kind of a mess, so then I go back and handwrite all my corrections. It's like it's very organic. But I enjoy it, and I hope they don't mind. Hopefully they don't hate me too much when I get that damn typewriter out again. Yeah, these are going to be good grids. Once I get into the swing of this, where's margin release? So you can see, right, you're starting to be able to see this right along in here, right here. The edges a little bit. That looks like a good sized grid. That should be a really good grid. Not too big, not too small. Lovely! Oh, thank you for the midnight inspiration. Well, actually it's more like a 3 a.m. inspiration. Man, I had a night. Oh my God, what an, ugh. I tell you, don't ever, ever, ever have have chocolate chip pancakes for dinner. The caffeine will keep you up all freaking night if you are sensitive to caffeine, which I am. Duh! I was up and down all night long because I had so much brain buzz. It was redonkulous. And usually I can cancel out the brain buzz by having some warm milk, but I was very low on milk and I had to save it for breakfast. So I was up and down all night rearranging furniture. It was insane. I decided I was going to put, oh my actually it's a cool idea and I am going to do it. But I'm going to have 2 bedrooms. I'm going to have a summer bedroom and a winter bedroom. And so I was fixing up the guest room. I was moving furniture around it. Oh no. God. Okay, Alt margin release. Underline. 1 return. Alt margin release, backspace, underline, Alt margin release, underline, return. Get my little ribbon going here. Alt margin release, backspace, underline. So I was just rearranging furniture and waking up and trying to, my bed was uncomfortable because all the cats were piled on it, and my bottom sheet is fitted, but it's got like, it's sort of like this slick material, so the corner keeps coming out of it. So that's, if I try to move and the sheet comes up underneath me, and I can hardly move anyway because I've got a cat on either side of me. One cat likes to sleep on my feet, right across my ankles, if I'm on my side, and another one sleeps like right behind me, you know, like kind of like spooning, you know. And I don't want to crush the darlings or anything, So I can't turn, I can't move my feet. When I do turn, the sheet pulls up, so I'm like, ah! And my brain's buzzing along like, I can do this and this and this, I gotta do this right now, right now. Like, oh my God. So I decided to come out here and try and sleep in my recliner, and that wasn't too bad for a while. It was, I mean, I started to drift off a little bit, except there was a light shining in my eyes that I didn't want to turn off because it's the porch light and I need that for security. And then my third cat, my older cat, my sweetheart, he came and wanted to hug me and everything, and so he would kind of cuddle up and doze, but then he'd jump off and then he'd be gone for a while, then he'd come back. So it was so restless. So I decided, well, this isn't going to work, and I don't really want to sleep in the guest room. But then I got my idea about seasonal bedrooms. So I thought, okay, well, I guess I better just get up and kind of do some stuff until I feel like I'm going to drop. So that's what I did. From like 3 a.m. to 10 a.m. I would do stuff, kind of drop, try to sleep for a little while, then get back up, do some more stuff, drop, get up, drop, get up, drop. Finally, I was up by 3 in the afternoon, and I was, well, I wasn't up, but I was vertical, you know. So now I'm finally perking up. It's about 20 past 6. I've come back from the store and I'm doing this. So, but oh God, the caffeine, it just gets me. Ugh, nasty. Okay, so I will catch up with you. Can you see these? Yes. So I'll be back with you when I'm working on the cross lines. Okay, so here's lines in one direction. I do have this gap up top, which I know I'm never going to be able to line it back up again to fill it in. I might try with a ruler or something like that, because I could actually add some more lines on this end. But in the meantime, let's do the cross part. So that's not bad looking paper. Okay, so I'll just feed this in. This should be a little easier. As long as everything is squared up. Bail here, and there's a little arrow right there. And I get this just down and far as I possibly can. Okay, yeah, I might have to fill that in, but okay. So, I don't think I need to do the release this time, the margin release, so it should be good. Let's try it. Like I'm gonna need it. Okay. It's not quite. Oops. Stop doing that. All right, let's see how far. Really back space. Okay, that takes it way over, which is fine by me. Right off the page. So, okay, boom, back to the underline. classic cross. And there you go, homemade graph paper. As I was doing this, I was thinking probably I could have done this in paint, but I would have had really no idea about the scale. How big are the squares and stuff? I mean, I do like having this, holding this in my hands, and there's some boo-boos. I somehow went from single space to 1.5 space right around in here. Plus the lines don't all meet, but I think a lot of this can be fixed on the computer in, I'm gonna say Paint. That's a good little program. I think it's kind of underrated. There's a lot of stuff you can do in Paint. I usually start my drawings out in Paint. If I'm drawing on the computer, I always start them out in Paint, and then I'll go into a more involved program after that for tweaking. But Paint is very user-friendly. So I think I could probably use, like, there's the lines feature to maybe fill in here. So I would scan this in and then see what I can do with it in Paint. Get it the way I like it. So I really would like to fill up as much of the page as possible. The typewriter can only do so much, but I would like to have this as close to full bleed as I can. And then when I get the paper the way I like it, then I'm gonna make several copies of it and start drawing on it. And then scan the drawings probably back into Paint. And I had some ideas about the grids, maybe do something fun with the actual grid. So let me see if I can zoom out here. I believe I can manage that. So what I want to do, okay, so here's your graph paper. So I'm going to decorate the borders, and then you guys have the whole center to play on. And it's going to be like a 6x9 or so book, so it's going to be, you know, say this is a two-page spread here. So what I want to do is say, like, this is the middle. I don't want to fold this, but you know, so you're gonna have grid all over, so that's the center, the 2 pages, page 2 and page 3. Say, well, these are going to relate to each other. I'm not going to have like gridding here and down the center and breaking it up into 2 pages. I'm going to have a border of some sort all the way around, and it's going to have sort of its own, each 2-page spread is going to have its own kind of theme. So it might be flowers on this 2 pages, and then you'll flip it and it might be some birds, and then after that maybe kind of an abstract. So each page is going to be a little different, and you should be able to color in the designs and of course color in your grids and stuff. So really I need to see, are these grids a good size for writing in? They look pretty good. I'll play with, like I said, I'm going to play with the gridding. I don't think the gridding is going to be black, all black, not always. Sometimes it'll be black, sometimes it'll be maybe another color, something fun. So you might see a 2-page spread with purple grid on it. Whoa. Or even kind of a dark yellow, something you can see, but that's subtle. So it would be like a guideline. So I don't think the grid is going to overwhelm your contribution to the book. Because this paper wasn't, this isn't in bold. I didn't type it up in bold. This is just regular, so that's pretty dark already. Okay, well, it's 7 o'clock. I'm taking my dinner break now, and oh, it's been a very crazy day. So I don't know if I'm going to get back to this again tonight, but I will turn the camera on next time I'm working on it, and I'll catch you then. Take care, guys. Good night.